want people at my house so I could sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. We usually do because we do Thanksgiving at my mother-in-law's house, and then we do Christmas Eve at my mom's house.
Mm.
But this Thanksgiving we did like we stood in the crib, and then her mom surprised us and came,
Aw.
and they brought us food and stuff like that, and we hung out outside, social distancing and all that kind of stuff. And then for Christmas Eve, my mom usually does this really big thing, but her health hasn't been that great this year, and I'm just telling her like just chill. Is one of
Yeah.
those years kind of thing. So this might be the first year that we don't do the big party at her house and stuff like that. So we gotta, but Kaya still wants to go to grandma's house and wake up on Christmas in grandma's house. So we might do like, a sleepover or something like that.
Yeah, by yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Keep it small. Cause my mom is super high risk, so even like a regular little cold, should be scary. So we gotta keep it tight.
Yeah, and I was saying that about my grandmother. Like, she shouldn't be out and about and stuff like that.
Mm-mm.
But then you got my cousin because he just moved into a nice apartment or condo. I don't know what the heck he moved into. He just wants to be all high classness. So he goes and has my grandmother over there. My mother was like, "Oh, that's so nice of him." I was like, "Y'all people are taking too much of a chance." With
Yeah,
my
why she
Yeah.
grandmother,
out?
yeah, you're having her go out. You're having her go to out of the comfort
Mm.
zone, stepping out, and it's not like it's nearby. I couldn't say, okay, we're going across the street. That's not. And even though you don't want to take a chance with that.
Yeah.
But so that's when you got people asking me why you don't go. I'm like, I'm not going over there. What if I have something and I don't even know?
Yeah.
You
I
Exactly.
think
know?
that's one of the biggest things. Like a lot more people are asymptomatic and don't know, but they're now spreading it, and
Hmm.
then the other people are getting worse off than the person asymptomatic.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
But I mean,
Well,
listen,
now Jenny's doing
everybody.
the postal worker shit, and I'm doing construction, so we're like in risky areas. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
We're around a lot of people. Like I'll be around all those like white folks that I work with, and I'm like, yeah, I better put a mask on when I get in here. Like I'm not walking in your apartment if you don't put a mask on.
I mean,
So,
you see them outside doing construction and they're not with a mask on.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Reckless, reckless. I know. The
Have
thing
you?
is, too, construction, you almost always wear a mask for, dust and,
Debris,
you know what I
dirt.
mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Just put your
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
mask on, dude.
Mhm.
Like, it's not like you're not used to it. So, in any case, it is what it is. All right, cool. So let's get into it. So the agenda, first thing, circle question was the celebration stuff. We just went into. Then we go into committee reports. So the committees, we haven't really formed them yet. It was stuff that we've been discussing. And then at the last general meeting, we put out a call, like if people are down to work on certain things. Brenda, did you put in I didn't see it in the minutes. Did you put everyone who like volunteered for which group they wanted to work with?
No, I put it in a separate email right after who wanted to volunteer because they weren't really specific of
Yeah.
for what. So I just put they want to volunteer. I still have it. I think I sent you guys the email and let me double check. And if anything, I'll send it again after this. I'll resend it to everybody
Word. So
because
yeah, I
I'm
think it's
lacking in
like
my emails. I sent empty emails.
I know. But I think maybe it's like for the different working groups, like what we should have did for the Scholastic Book Fair, and why I think it kind of fell through the cracks is because we didn't have like one of us being the point person saying like, okay, you're gonna be the point person on Scholastic Book Fair, reach out to the volunteers. So it kind of fell through the cracks a little bit when we all got busy.
Yeah,
And
especially the
then
holiday. Yeah.
yeah, and then the Thank Our Lucky Stars event, same kind of thing. We haven't put a point person on it. So the three kind of groups that we were thinking about making, remember, were the Thank Our Lucky Stars, like organizing planning committee, the Scholastic Book Fair committee, and then the committee around the mutual aid idea, like creating a mutual aid project or fund or something like that. Um, so maybe um, we can do after this meeting. I'll send out another email to everybody and think about it a little bit and see which one that you might be able to attach yourself to. And whether you have the time to be the key person on it or if you could just assist somebody on it. Like I know straight up the the mutual aid stuff. I definitely would like to be involved in it, so I can be in that committee. But I know Marina, I know you had a lot of really strong ideas around the mutual aid, so maybe you're the better person. But I don't know what your schedule's like this month.
We're just all just join and add ideas and just work it in. Like we're
Yeah,
both like
b-
we'll give ideas, but we don't want to take charge. But we'll give ideas and join.
yeah, because you're talking about me putting all that there, and then what if something comes abroad, and then I get busy or something, and then next you know it falls apart, and then it falls all on me, and then I feel
Mhm.
bad. So I don't
Yeah,
want to
no,
do that, you know. Like,
no, for sure. I mean,
Like
I
we
think
we
the
could cheer on kind of situation.
yeah. Well, I think the way we would do it, like say for instance, I was the person who was the main organizer around the Scholastic Book Fair, but then I get busy. I would see, I would hand it off to somebody else, kind of thing.
Mm.
yeah,
Um, just so that there is somebody. But again, we don't need to decide right now in this meeting, but I'll send out a follow up email and then we can all kind of reply to it.
Okay.
And if you can't step up this month, I mean, this month, this happened last year too. We had a bunch of stuff planned for the holidays, around the holidays, and they all kind of fell through. So we have this tendency to overcommit during the holidays. So I don't want to do that, but I also don't want to seem like we're stagnant and we're not doing nothing, you
Mm.
know? So maybe, cause like, even like, I mean, so I was telling, I don't know if you heard Marina and Helen, you definitely didn't hear the Scholastic Book Fair. My feeling is that we hold off until after the holiday, just because now it's such a tight window to get
Mm.
hmm.
delivery of books and all this kind of stuff. Um,
So did you want to
and
do the winter? Like when I sent you the email, are you gonna make that into the winter slash I don't know Valentine slash that type
yeah,
scenario?
I think so. I think that would be
Okay.
a better idea. Gives us some more weeks to work around, and we're not stressing about holidays. And so we
And
already,
Yeah.
if we're thinking that might be something we could push back a little bit. The mutual aid fund too is not something that that committee has to meet right now. I think the only thing that would make sense to try to organize right now is the Thank Our Lucky Stars event.
Yeah.
okay.
So it's like a holiday celebration hangout for families and stuff like that. Um, the only thing with the Thank Our Lucky Stars is that the dates that we were initially thinking, that commemoration, the COVID commemoration, kind of conflicts with it because it's on the Thursday before the Friday that we were thinking, and also too it's very tight. Does anybody know what the calendar is on the last Friday of the before the break? Is it the 18th?
When's the break? The Friday, yeah, before the
Yeah.
25th, yeah, the 18th.
Mhm.
Yeah, that might be a better time to do it, like right before break. We all have a, or now that we're doing this kind of like Monday through Wednesday schedule, maybe Wednesday the
16th.
16th.
Are they doing any half days or anything like that?
I'm not
I
sure if
mean,
they're doing a
because that
half
could
day. Let me
probably
see.
because that could be incorporated too. So let's say parents already either picking up their kids or they already, they not okay. I gotta, they have more of a relaxed time in the sense with the kids before they do something in the evening time.
Yep.
So is this, you mean 3 days a week with in-person learning?
I think next week
Yeah.
starts most likely the 7th or the 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the new schedule I saw is going to be Monday through Wednesday in person, Thursday and Friday virtual.
Oh my God, that's tough for working for parents who have to now flip everything.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying. Like afterwards, you think anybody's gonna want to be like, oh, I gotta do this now, you know?
Well, it's tough to switch the days, but it's generally now we're instead of 2 days, 1 week, 3 days, 1 week, 2 days, 1 week, because then it's more shuffling. Now it's a guaranteed 3 days a week,
Yeah.
so it's a little easier. But then you just gotta like switch. I gotta get the babysitter. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
gotta just adjust again, and now
Yeah.
be a
Mhm.
Yeah.
little bit more consistent. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I'm looking at the calendar. There's nothing scheduled in terms of half a day on the 16th
How
or
about
17th or 18th.
pep
But my
rallies? Because
fear is
normally
that the
pep rallies.
17th, huh?
The
What
pep
about
rally.
Friday pep rallies? When does a? Because I don't know what.
There's a pep rally this Friday, and that's it.
Oh, okay, for this Friday.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's December 4th. Because my thing is that and actually it looks like we have school the 21st, the 22nd, and 23rd.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah.
usually they usually do that, and then that's when the holiday starts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that last day would be Wednesday, the 23rd. Oh, here comes Darlene right now. So maybe she could give some clarity.
And when do classes resume?
Morning.
Hey,
Hi.
Morning.
what up? You
Yeah,
muted.
yeah.
Hi, everybody. Sorry for being late.
No worries. We actually had a bunch of questions for you.
Let's do
I'm
it.
sure you're ready.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So we're trying to figure out the new schedule because we're trying to figure out our Thank Our Lucky Stars event and what makes sense. So like you sent out that communication about the Monday through Wednesday thing. So what's that look like? And then when does break start for winter break?
Okay. So it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for all students every single week. And the December break starts on
We were thinking it was the Wednesday, the 23rd was the last day of school, if that makes sense.
yes, it is. So the break officially starts. We're off December 24th.
And on the schedule, it doesn't reflect any half a days in those last couple of days. Is that right?
Let's see.
I'm looking at the schedule on the website. I don't know if it's up to date. So for
We
kids,
don't have
there's still
no half
no half
no half
days.
days.
So there's for Monday through Wednesday. So is it for kids who have already been going to school in the prior weeks, or also additional kids who have opted in to start that December 7th date or whatever?
That's a great question. So it's both. It's the people who already had opted into blended learning, and the people that opted in November. All of those students will start on Monday, and they'll come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They'll all have the same schedule.
Right. And then kids who haven't opted in or who don't want to sign the mandatory waiver, they'll still be able to get virtual learning Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays?
Absolutely. They'll have remote learning. Students who are doing fully remote learning will have remote learning Monday through Friday. And the students that are coming in on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays will have remote learning on Thursdays and Fridays.
And is there still separation, or is there cohorts or like classes, like 2 kindergarten classes, 2 first grade classes? How's that working?
There are going to be 2 cohorts for almost every grade level, so that we have a small number of children in that room. So each classroom, there's a limited amount of room so that we can ensure social distancing. And so we are expecting basically approximately 9 to 11 students at most in every cohort. There will be 2 cohorts. They'll just be coming to school on the same days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then we're going to be using more classrooms than we have so that we can ensure, again, that there's a small number of children in every room.
Cool. That's all I had, but I think others have questions. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Helen, you muted.
So are you still considering opt-in in the spring? I mean, like in February or something?
We are still considering an opt-in in January or February. I'm not being specific about the date just because honestly, I'm just waiting to see what happens with the chancellor. He's thrown us some curveballs lately. So, so I know I want to do another opt-in date, and I'm just waiting to see if he says he's going to do another opt-in date, because then, to redo programming again. And so I know I want to do it around January, February. I'm thinking the weather will be a little bit better, or at least people will feel better about the weather, because we have some kids who are asthmatic, or kids who, who get sick really easily when they're out in cold weather. And so that's my plan. And so we'll see what the chancellor does also. I'm kind of on just, let me not start.
Yeah.
What other questions do you guys have?
And just one last question. Is it too late for parents to opt in?
Unfortunately, it is too late for parents to opt in. But I'm reminding all families that we are going to revisit this again in January, February. It's going to be a few weeks. And then we do anticipate, when we do that additional opt-in period, when we have another group of kids come in, there is a possibility that we might have to go back to 2 days a week and alternating Mondays. And so, and again, it is a little, it's kind of a pain, but but that's kind of why I'm keeping the 3 days, because when we do have more kids come in, I didn't want to have people come 5 days and then be told 2 months later, you're only going to come 2 days and alternating Mondays. Like it's just too challenging for people who need childcare and who are working. Mm-hmm. And so I figured, let's do the 3 days now. And then people kind of have to have that remote learning piece as an option, so that when we do have more kids come in January, February, it won't be too disruptive, because people will already be used to doing remote learning and in-person learning. I do think that there are some children who are going to be doing remote learning for the rest of the year. Like, I don't see their parents being comfortable with sending them to school right now. So we're going to have to maintain this model of our teachers doing both in-person learning and remote learning at the same time.
I think I did a thorough job of scaring the shit out of my kid, because I asked her, do you want to go back to school? She said, Mommy, I'm scared to get sick.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, then I'll just leave it at that,
Yeah, poor baby.
Also, too, I saw that there was a positive test at the school or in the building yesterday or the day before. There was an email notification sent by the DOE.
Yeah, there was an email notification, but I read it. It was for a student that was fully remote, that happened to get COVID. Yeah.
Can you send me that?
Yeah, me as well, because normally I get those emails.
See, y'all ain't on the list. Y'all ain't on the special list that me and Helen's on.
I get it.
Don't know what happened to you, Darlene.
I'm not even on the list.
I get
finding everything out on the news.
I would have thought the schools would have been first to be notified and get those, because us parents, we get them. I get them for all 3 of the kids' schools. I was surprised I got first for Star. I usually get it from Thompson, and then I started getting it from Bart. Like, okay.
If you can send that to me, I want to look into it. I do not know of a case of a student being positive in our school. So this is the first I'm hearing about it. So I will look into that. I'm kind of shocked right now by what you're saying. I will also reach out to the principal.
It was sent last night at 8:30.
In general, it wasn't in our school because we've been closed.
Yeah, no, it says in our school. It said, well, what it says is someone connected to the school. It says no intervention needed. A member of the school building has tested positive, but the school community was not exposed.
Okay. So we did have somebody who was exposed on November 19th. She got 2 tests. One of them was a false positive. The second one came back, it was negative. And she hasn't been in the building, as we said, since then. So again, it was a negative result. We don't have any positive results for any students, but I will look into it, because it also could be somebody from the other school in the building, because usually they send out notices for like everybody in the building, period. So I will look into it, and I'll get back to you guys.
Yeah, it came from rtsch@buildings.nyc.gov.
The situation room.
Okay. Like, who is this?
Yeah, it's literally the situation room. It is a room that I don't know if it's a room, but it's a department that the DOE set up for us to report when there is some sort of positive case, or if somebody has symptoms and doesn't come to school, we have to report it. If somebody comes to school and suddenly feels symptoms, we have to report it to the situation room. And then they follow up on all of the results to make sure that we have negative results for these people. And if there is a positive result, they actually will do the testing and tracing where they come out and they actually interview the people who have been contacted. They figure out all of the people that that were exposed, and then making sure that all of those people get tested. But I will look into that. So yeah, I'm glad that I got that from you, Sean. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, so that brings, I think, more clarity to the schedule for us. So just again, a reminder, the Scholastic Book Fair has kind of fallen through the cracks in terms of us getting it organized and together. And I think we all kind of have expressed the same feeling that the school closure and coupled with Thanksgiving weekend and all that kind of stuff made it hard for us to really make time for it. So what we are initially thinking with the Scholastic Book Fair is to not stress ourselves, and also to not have it that we have people order books and they don't get it in time for the holidays if they're trying to buy it as holiday gifts, but rather to just hold off and move it to January or maybe even early February and make it like a winter Valentine's thing.
Okay.
So that's kind of, I think, where the consensus is. And Scholastic Book Fair, for them, it's easy. It's a virtual event. They didn't have to really organize anything. And they also said that it's probably going to be the same theme carrying through all the way to the spring. So there's no change in theme. It's a time travel theme, which is kind of funny. Everyone wants to fast forward to 2020. So that's what we're thinking with that. And then the Thank Our Lucky Stars event, not trying to hustle and make it happen next Friday because that kind of conflicts with the commemoration event, but rather pushing it to either the following Friday, or now that we know that we'll be open to Wednesday, the 23rd, maybe even that Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, the 21st, 22nd, or 23rd. So what do people think in terms of like what might be a good day? When will parents be mentally available to participate in that kind of event? You muted, Brenda.
I think what was the date you said? Possibly the 18th?
Friday the 18th.
I want to say probably, because depending on what we try to do, if it runs a little late into the night, at least it's like a weekend, and parents don't have to prepare for the next day to get their children ready for work, well, for school, and then the parents for work, since it falls on the 18th. I'm not opposed to the 18th.
You know, also too, we're talking about weekdays because we're used to being in person, but we're not fully in person. So we could theoretically do like a Sunday night or something like that if people are into like a weekend. It doesn't have to be a weekday.
I'm not opposed to that. I want my weekends to myself. I'm sorry. I do apologize.
Yep. No. I'm just saying the different options.
I didn't really mean to be so blunt about it, but
yeah, weekends is a no. I'm busy on the weekends. I do the eye therapies, and then Sunday comes to the household chores. So yeah.
Yep.
No weekends.
I concur.
So yeah, maybe the Friday, the 18th then.
I mean, yeah, Friday is good, but then you got the 23rd if you want to make that before Christmas Eve. You have that option too, but you got that.
that might be a good one too, like right before the holidays.
Yeah, so if it does go over, the kids are excited. Like it's Christmas Eve coming up, put things together, things like that. But
the 22nd might be better just because I just imagine on the 23rd, a lot of people are going shopping, or they might
leaving.
Have last minute things that they want to do before the 24th.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be better to do it on the Tuesday, the 22nd. Just because I remember like wrapping up presents at night, and like that day before is always a little crazy.
Yeah. I think that, and I like the Tuesday, the 22nd, because it gives us a little bit more time to get it organized and stuff. So what another thing we were discussing at the top of this meeting is like really trying to see if one of us could commit to being the point person on this event. That doesn't mean you're doing most of the work, but that means that you're in charge of like sending out the emails to the volunteers and trying to organize a planning meeting or something like that. Anybody into that idea? I think it would have to happen, like a planning meeting would probably have to be organized within the next week or so. Like before next Friday, maybe.
I can't because I'm trying to get these taxes filed.
Yes.
Our taxes filed.
Yes.
Right.
So you already got a project.
Yeah.
I want to say I don't want to say no, but only because my school we're doing picture day and stuff like that this week. So I know for like the remaining of this week, it's like it's gonna be busy for me. I almost forgot today's meeting if you didn't text me.
For sure. And I can also reach out to Ashley. She couldn't make today's meeting, but Ashley has helped organize the Think Our Lucky Stars event in the past. So maybe her and I can partner on it and try to organize it. All right, cool. So I'll send out a follow-up email to this meeting. So if you don't have to decide on it now, but if you feel inspired, but worst case scenario, me and Ashley will take care of it, I'm sure.
I'm happy to join. I'm happy to join you also if you want another thought partner on to help with planning.
All right, perfect. Cool. All right. Nice. So I'll reach out to Scholastic Books and see what the other dates they think might work for us, and then I'll just shoot it around to the group, and we can decide on what we want to do with that, and report it to the general meeting. So report from the President's Council. It was very similar to a lot of the conversations that we were having. It was just, all the presidents were sharing the same kind of idea that, they knew that the school closure was coming. It was right before the school closure came. And so it was a question around that. There was actually a petition being pushed by some parents, I think, to not have closures happen in New York City until 5%. But I think it was something that I expressed that we weren't really behind because we were standing with the teachers and the U of T and the negotiations that the U of T was kind of making and looking at that 3% number. But I know some of the other presidents were signing on to it, but it was the majority of us were not signing on to it. It was just something that was brought up. But then basically the whole conversation got to the question of mutual aid, and so kind of what we've been talking about, and so people were thinking of ideas of mutual aid. So some people were like using PTA funds to help with buying more school supplies, getting clothing drives organized. Also, laundry service is a big one that people kept talking about, that there's a big need from a lot of parents. Like parents can't get outside or whatever. And so organizing, like PTA's organizing laundry service, which is kind of like a cool idea. I don't know if anyone will clean anyone else's laundry, but it's definitely like a big support for a lot of people. So that was discussed. And then also too, the other thing that was discussed was CELSA was going to be organizing some trainings this month for parent leaders. And you might have received an email from CELSA or from Mimi this week where there's 3 trainings. One happened this morning. One was a Title one. I don't know if you saw that one, Helen. I know it was probably last minute, but that was a Title one training that I think it happened at 10. Tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next Tuesday, the December 8th, from 10 to 11 is going to be one for the PTA in general. But I know from the conversation with Celsa, the primary thing that she's going to be talking about, like all things virtual PTA, but she's really going to focus on treasurer, how to be a treasurer in a virtual times, dealing with money, because, we can't get 2 people to sign off on checks and all this kind of stuff. So that's going to be a big thing discussed next Tuesday, December 8th from 10 to 11. And then for SLT members or anyone interested, the following Tuesday, December 15th, they're going to have a training for SLT, how to participate in SLT and all that kind of stuff. So basically 3 Tuesdays, this Tuesday, next Tuesday, and the following Tuesday from 10 to 11. And that's CELSA. Yeah, and that's kind of what the presidents council meeting was about. Anyone got any questions or anything that you want me to bring to the president's council meeting that's happening next week? All right, cool. The next thing on the agenda was just discussion on the school reopenings. So Darlene already kind of took care of that agenda point, but I don't know if anyone else had anything to say about the reopenings. Is there something that we should be doing as a PTA to help support the reopenings? You know, any ideas on that front?
I'm not sure if there's anything that you guys can do, but just an FYI that as a school this week, we're trying to figure out how much furniture that we have that can ensure that we're being able to social distance the kids. And so I am not convinced that we have enough furniture to ensure that there's going to be 6 feet between all the kids when they're seated in the classroom. We're going to be working on it this week as a school, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that I'm really worried that if we don't have enough furniture, like my option right now that I'm thinking is I want the kids social distance no matter what. And so this may mean that if we don't have enough furniture, I may have to have kids taking turns, like sitting on the carpet and doing their work and then switching up and then sitting at tables again, and other kids who are sitting at tables sitting on the rug. But I just want you to know that this is something that this is kind of my biggest concern right now. And so I just wanted to share it and put it out there and be transparent so that if you hear me talking about, like, I'm really worried about where everybody's going to sit and what the furniture is going to look like. But I just wanted to put that on your radar that, you know, this is a situation that I know we're all going to be like a little stressed about it until we can see for sure how we can get all the kids, you know, seated in the classrooms. And so I'm asking teachers to come in this week and to start planning and moving furniture around, knowing that they also have to teach. It really is kind of on a volunteer basis. So they would have to come like before school or after school hours. But that's kind of, you know, what we're thinking about right now in terms of the big thing that has to get done for Monday morning. But I just wanted to share that and put that out there.
Yeah, are you talking like 2 tables or a room? Or are you talking about so like a purchase of like 20 temporary tables or like 100 temporary tables?
I think my concern is that the tables are so big. I almost feel like we might need like those small individual desks that we used to have when we were kids that have like that hole in the center of it. I feel like I might have to purchase those so that kids literally are like isolated. Because if we get too many tables, you still have to fit, if you fit 4 kids at a table, that's not social distance. Like maybe if one is at each end, that may be 4 feet, but I'm not going to get a full 6 feet. And so again, we mostly have tables in our rooms. And so we're going to have to try and just figure out, if you have 10 kids in a room and you have 2 kids sitting at each table, each room is going to need at least 5 tables. But even then, technically speaking, those kids aren't 6 feet apart. And so that's going to be a challenge. And, you know, again, I'm just putting it out there. The DOE has said that it's okay to have 4 kids at a table if they're wearing masks. And I know our families and our teachers are that's not going to be sufficient. And so we're going to have to figure out a way to keep kids 6 feet away from each other. So as we're working on it, I'll kind of keep you guys updated and let you know. But it might be a situation, kind of what Sean said, where I order 20 tables and it might take 2 months for the freaking tables to come, excuse my language. But, you know, I'm hoping that won't happen. And worst case scenario, I have enough buildings in the building to move stuff around. But we're just going to, you know, try and figure it out basically this week and have it set up for Monday.
What about the desk partitions, just in case if like you do order tables and instead of being 6 feet, 4 feet, but at least they have like an extra barrier with their mask.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea, Brenda. I did not think about that, and I should have. No, I think that's a great idea. Absolutely, I'm gonna look into that because I feel like that is definitely doable, and I just feel like it's more realistic.
More realistic, and it gives you a little more, me as the parent, you know, everybody as a parent, more of a safety, like, oh, okay, versus just them keeping their mask on 24/7. At
Absolutely.
least with the plastic partition that's above their head, it's an
Yeah.
extra precaution.
And I've seen the ones that are like, I almost want to say like a triangle shape. Like it's
Yeah,
not just in front, it's also on the sides.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that suggestion. I
You're
appreciate that.
welcome.
I will keep you updated though. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I was just looking at pictures of examples of it. Yeah, I think too that's probably like a cheaper thing too. I know it looks kind of weird, but wait, hold on. Let me show you. You know, yeah, I can see that.
Yes.
So there's like different examples.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
That one with the little box seems that's a little scary. that does, that
but
doesn't
this
too.
like this one is kind of cool.
That's very good. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Okay.
But maybe too, yeah. I mean, I know sometimes DOE funds are a little slower, but if there's like an emergency fund, maybe the PTA could fundraise for it or something.
I think we're okay
Figure it
on the
out.
funding. It's just one of those things where, like you said, I'm going to try and do whatever's fastest because we don't have that much time.
Yeah. All right, cool. Feels like something that the DOE should be handling for you, but all right. So yeah, so definitely in the general meeting next week, we'll be sure to discuss all that stuff. So Helen, working on taxes, that's kind of the only thing that you're focused on right now, right? So I mean, it's a big thing. You had a handoff from Jenny, I think, right? Jenny initiated it, but it never got
Yeah.
filed or something like that.
So I logged into so I'm gonna file the 990 easy form. But apparently in September, New York State launched their own website and require another filing there. Um, so what I did is I punched in the EIN number and it's not found. It says your charity isn't found at the moment. And then there's a little message that says just keep trying back. Like, because apparently the website, I guess other organizations are having problems, where if you put in your exact, doing a search, not by name, not by anything, but just the exact number, and it's not coming up. So I mean, there's a number to call and so forth, but that's what I'm gonna focus on and get it done. I know that there were like extensions to file. It's just a little, so they extended it to July 15th, right? Um, but then New York got an additional 6 months on top of that. So um, so that puts us at December 15th. So that this is my priority in the next couple of days.
Well, I know that's the kind of stuff too. If it's the site's giving you issues or whatever, that's the kind of stuff that Celsa will help you on directly. Like she'll get on the phone with you and she'll even call up whoever it is. Like she'll have some direct contacts and stuff like that. So Celsa might be the person to help with it
Yeah. Yeah.
since we don't
No,
have a parent coordinator.
no, that's fine. And I just think it's just a matter of getting through to them because there's a phone number or no email that you could contact as well. Um, but the for me right now, the priority is to file the one that Jenny had started, right? Because that's already in there. It's just certain things aren't checking off where it should. So
What
I
was
have,
the name of the form again? I'm sorry.
so for nonprofits, it's a 990,
9.
right? And they're open to the public. Like you could, there's a website, I forgot the name, but you can log in and anyone can look at any nonprofits 990. Ours would be 990 easy because our finances are less than $100,000 and our assets are nowhere near that. So that's why it's a more straightforward filing, but it's the straightforward filing is still about 16 pages, you know, and so forth. So yeah, because whatever is filed and accepted on the original um website that Jenny started, that information then has to be filed with the state. So that's it. Does anybody have any questions or anything? Miss Cameron, do you have any questions? No. Okay. So yeah, so this
Thank
would
you
be
for doing this, though. I appreciate it.
yeah. I used to do personal taxes too. So this is a little different, but
Yeah.
you know, it's all the same thing. Just reading and working it out.
Word. All right, cool. So so you think it'll be done before the end of the year, basically? Before the end of December?
Oh no, I'm not even no, our deadline would be December 15th. I'm trying to get this done by the end of this week.
Perfect. Okay, cool. All right. Awesome. Nice. All right. So that's something to report on for sure at the general meeting that we're finally finalizing that. Just setting the agenda for the general meeting. Outside of the stuff that we've gone over with the reopening of the school and some of the things around that, I'm sure Darlene's principal's report will be something people are looking forward to. Are we doing a town hall before December 9th?
I don't think we are going to do a town hall before December 7th. We're going to reach out individually to all of those families to make sure that they know their schedule. We're getting consent forms from those families. So we basically spending this week like being in touch with all of our in-person families who are new to in-person learning. Those families who've already been doing it, they're going to get updates around changes in terms of arrival and dismissal. But ultimately, I didn't want to have a town hall for the whole community when we're really just talking about the 70 families that are returning in person. It's going to be a total of around 75 children, just so you know. And originally we had 45 during the first round. So we have an additional 30 children coming in, just so you have the numbers.
Perfect. Yeah. So maybe at next Wednesday's PTA meeting, we can encourage people to participate in that meeting too, to hear that principal's report, and if they have any questions, we can make some extra time for that. So kind of like two birds with one stone kind of thing.
I think that's a great idea, and I think that'll get more people to attend as well.
Yeah,
Telling them
for
this
sure.
is the opportunity for us to talk about reopening. The principal will be there. Our PTA executive board will be there. Yeah, I think that's a great idea, and I'll mention it on my dojo as well.
Perfect. Okay, so yeah, so for next week's meeting, we have that reopening kind of discussion. We're going to talk about the shifting around of the Scholastic Book Fair. Hopefully by then we'll have some proposed dates to report to everybody. And we can get people to recommit to participating in some kind of planning committee for the Scholastic Book Fair. And then, of course, reporting on our Thank Our Lucky Stars organizing. I don't anticipate that Ashley and I will get a meeting together before that, but I want us to at least set a date, maybe next Thursday or Friday, that me and Ashley are both available to encourage people who participate in Wednesday's general meeting. Hey, tomorrow or Friday, we're going to be having a planning meeting for this event that we're doing on Tuesday, December 22nd. Anything else that people wanted discussed at next Wednesday's meeting?
No, I think most likely that's what they're gonna ask is about like the Thank Our Lucky Stars as well as the Scholastics. But then I'm pretty sure they're gonna have questions for Miss Cameron like they did afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And probably better not to make it too long of a meeting because we have the commemoration event on Thursday. So we don't want to exhaust parents by having a 2-hour meeting and then a 2-hour event. You know what I mean? So if we could keep it to like a 45-minute to 60-minute meeting and be very concise for the holidays, I think that'd be good.
I agree. Having those 4 days off, it was really amazing. It was really the first time I haven't done anything in 4 days since like February. So now I'm just like ready for December break. I'm ready.
Yes. You didn't know you needed it so much.
You don't know.
Miss Cameron, when do classes resume after the break? Is it still like January 2nd or something like that?
I want to say it's January 4th because that's the Monday after New Year's.
Okay.
That's great because usually I always want January 2nd off, and we usually have to go back to school on January 2nd.
Yeah.
So January 1st is on a Friday this year. So
Nice.
that Monday, the 4th, is when we'll return.
Okay, good.
And by the way, there are spreading rumors around the DOE that we're going to close again, just between the 5 of us.
Before the end of December.
They are a lot of the superintendent. She didn't say it out loud, but she kind of basically said, don't do anything to like uproot your entire schedule because we just don't know when at any moment it can happen again. And I never believe them when they say these things, but I've been wrong every single time. So.
Well, I was surprised that they actually reopened, that they're doing the reopening next week. I was surprised. I thought they were just gonna ride it out to the end of the year or whatever, but you know, I mean, it will theoretically just be like a 2.5 week period, right? So we'll see if we get through the 17 days or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're hoping that people were really cautious over Thanksgiving and that, people are getting tested often. The testing is going to happen every week. Supposedly. I don't know how you're going to ensure every school gets random testing every single week, but that's the promise and the commitment they've made. So if all of that is in place, I definitely think that, those safety precautions will make everybody feel better. And I think that he mandated the consent forms being signed, and that wasn't mandated before. Before it was, we strongly encourage. And now it's, you have to sign the consent form for a child to be in person. And so I think putting those things in place, my hope is that, the rate will stay low in schools. I don't know what's going to happen with the rest of the city, but my hope is that we are able to, keep our schools open.
All right, cool. So yeah, so the events that are coming up then, on Monday, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Monday, December 7th at 5 p.m. is going to be our next SLT meeting. So join on that if you can. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, though, our general meeting at 5 p.m. So that's next Wednesday, December 9th. And then Thursday, December 10th is going to be our commemoration, Evening of Remembrance and Hope, at 5 p.m. as well. So it's all 5 p.m. next week. That's easy to communicate to other parents. Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday are the different opportunities. And then I think that's it. We have a pep rally this Friday. All right, the 4th, there's a pep rally. And that's the upcoming events. All right, cool. So me and Brenda will get the notes out to everybody. We'll have the recording, and I'll reconnect. I'll try to connect with Ashley, and we'll try to get this Thank Our Lucky Stars planning committee meeting together.
By the way, Sean, you might want to reach out to Dina Garcia because she asked about Thank Your Lucky Stars and said she wants to help.
Perfect.
I'll make sure I'll
All right,
attach
cool.
everything in the emails this time.
Yeah. All right, cool. Awesome, y'all. So enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks,
Okay,
everybody. Have a great day. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.